So how many people has the Home Secretary banned from entering the UK in the last 4 years? He's banned 270.
That's right, the list of names banned from entering Britain includes neo-Nazis, religious extremists, as well as the rapper Snoop Dogg and American TV host Martha Stewart. A dangerous woman, can't have her walking the streets of the country. You're watching The Right Stuff live on 5 with Stephen K. Amos, Larry Turner and special guest Nitin Ganatra. But first, though, was it a mistake to send Wilders home? Did the Home Office get it wrong when they banned Geert Wilders from entering the UK yesterday? This right-wing anti-Islamist had been invited to show this film Fitna to the House of Lords. And he last visited our Parliament in December when no one actually batted an eyelid. But there was chaos at Heathrow yesterday when the democratically elected Dutch MP arrived on British soil, only to be sent straight home again, giving an impromptu press conference on the plane back. Now, Wilders' 17-minute film has now attracted, I think, 159,000 viewers on the internet. I am now one of them as a result of yesterday evening. And I have to say, contrary to what the lady told us about the film on Wednesday's show, it is not instructive or of any didactic benefit whatsoever. It's one-sided propaganda. It suggests all Muslims are somehow hell-bent on destroying the infidel. It singularly fails to distinguish between fundamentalist nutters and everyone else. Now, anyone could do a similar number on the Bible if they wanted to. You could take a few Old Testament phrases out of context, add some footage of battles and bloodshed, and you'd be away. By sending Wilders home, though, have we not made a martyr of him, given him oodles of free publicity, while simultaneously denying those who support him and those who abhor him the chance to debate their views? Would it not have been better to let him in quietly and show his poxy film? It had been claimed, to remember, that Lord Ahmet had threatened to raise an army of 10,000 Muslim demonstrators to oppose Wilders if he was let in the country. If that was the case, then maybe he should shoulder some of the blame for killing off freedom of speech in this country and making a hero out of his enemy. Except Lord Ahmet denies ever saying such a thing. So, one more time, was it a mistake to send him home? Larry?
No, I don't think it was a mistake to send him
Really?
home, because I think, as I said earlier in the week, had he made a film which just criticised extremists and linked them, obviously, to the bombings and killing of innocent people, that would have been one thing. But to brand Islam as a religion and therefore to brand all Muslims as being terrorists is absolutely incitement to hatred and to possible abuse of those people. I mean, we are in a very difficult time. And I am quite glad in a way that I'm not a Muslim at the moment, because it would be quite difficult, because there is a perception now that if you are Muslim, then automatically you will support the kind of actions that have seen innocent people killed. I would like to see the more moderate Muslims either given a greater platform or somehow make themselves more known so that we get a more balanced view, because at the moment we've got basically loonies like this guy, dangerous loonies like this guy.
Surely
and they're
democratically
the ones
elected politicians from a fellow EU state, Larry.
Absolutely. That doesn't mean he's not a loony. I mean, I don't think that...
I don't think there's something slightly wrong with a democratically elected MP from a fellow EU state, one just across the water, not being allowed to speak in our Parliament. I mean, that troubles me immensely.
If he was going to speak, but this film was not about a kind of honest debate. As you said yourself, it was just an outpouring of hatred and bile.
Yeah.
And that is not something that we need at the moment in this country.
But then I could also say, Nitin, that we probably don't need a bloody great row either, do we?
No, I think it's just added more fuel to the fire. But my first reaction to it was, no, he shouldn't have been allowed in. You know, you just stoke up this fire even more. But then,
do you?
I mean, that was my first initial reaction. Was good. You know, I mean, it's not like I want to hear far right.
But do you think we stoke up the fire more if we keep him out than if we let him in quietly? If whoever made the comment, if anybody indeed made a comment about raising a 10,000 strong, if we just kept quiet, he comes in, he shows his film to 5 doddery old lords, he goes home again.
I think you do stoke it up by denying him access, yes, because in one respect, that was my second, more reasonable response to it. My first response, obviously, was, yeah, get out, I don't want to hear it. My second response was, now he's got all the publicity he needed. You know, and often enough, that's kind of done more damage than good. My hope is that this is just a storm in a teacup. It started big, and it will end just like that. I don't think people care that much.
I mean, there was a guy speaking on the BBC today from I think it's called the Qiyam Foundation, a Muslim guy, and he just said he just felt that he had been denied the opportunity, Stephen, to have a debate to say his piece?
I don't think he was. This chap is obviously democratically elected in his own country.
Yeah.
He's not democratically elected in this country. And the government had to make a decision. Had they allowed him in, you suggest that maybe it would have been quiet, la-da-da. I don't think so.
Well, he came in December and nobody knew about it then.
Yeah, but was he showing his film in December?
Well,
was he going to the House of Lords?
I wouldn't have put it past him that he had a copy in his briefcase. I mean, what he didn't have is a scheduled appointment to show the film. It wasn't... that didn't exist.
I think what's happened is that he has taken this opportunity. I mean, he knew he wasn't being allowed in.
Of course.
And he had the whole... He's taken the whole thing to another level. But I guarantee in a couple of days we'll forget about this.
We will.
And I think it's better for us not to know. He can still talk as much as he wants, but we're not going to see this film. We're not going to debate this. We're debating this now as to whether people with this kind of background can be allowed into the country.
OK. I don't know. Let's throw it open to you. Amy.
OK, let's start with Nina first on line 3.
Nina, good morning.
Good morning.
Should he have come in?
Sorry?
Should he have been allowed in?
Yes, why not? But on the basis that he will, where he's going to view his film or, speech, he'll have Muslims there to challenge him because his film, what I've seen parts of it, is edited to suit what he wants to show.
Of course.
Yeah, and actually, he's doing exactly what these few extremists do. They take phrases from the Quran, half of the sentence, and they design it to look like, like for saying, I will attack you, but I wouldn't continue like, I will attack you if you attack me. That's how the Quran says. I mean, I've read the Bible. I'm a convert. I've read the Bible. I've read the Torah. And all of them have absolute horrid things about killing.
Absolutely.
But what it is that Bin Laden and whoever these people and him, they read half of the sentence and then they make it look, this is what Islam wants. We all know it. There's a lot of things in the Quran that we can't follow in this day and age. Those days were different. And I think he should come in and be challenged and shown that he's a liar and he's talking nonsense, and he just simply hates Muslims.
I'll tell you what, Nina,
now it's the Muslims.
You've made one fabulous point, which is you've actually used the name Geert Wilders and Bin Laden in the same sentence, and in fact, I think you're right. They're the same thing in essence. Thank you for the call. Let's have another.
The next caller is Chris, then on line 1.
Chris, good morning.
Hello, Matthew.
Do you think he should have been allowed in?
Yes, I do, and I've got two things to say on this. There seems to be some sort of double standards going on here, because how long was Abu Hamza allowed to preach hatred against the West?
Because of Abu Hamza's preaching, it was, I think, David Blunkett, when he was Home Secretary, that tightened up the rules about admission into this country. So, yes, Abu Hamza was here for years preaching hate. He used to do it at the end of my road in Finsbury Park.
Hadn't he been granted some kind of citizenship here?
Yeah, but it was as a result of that we tightened up these immigration laws. So that's... double standards is slightly unfair.
Had he not been a British citizen, had he applied to come into this country, I think he would have been denied.
Maybe. Go on, Chris.
And another thing is that if you look at religions around the world, and you look at history, the three worst culprits, really, in terms of people being killed in the sake of religion, is Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And in a sort of funny sort of way, they're all sort of being connected to each other. Yeah. And these religions should be questioned, I think. Yeah,
OK. I see a debate. Yeah, right. Chris, thank you. Let's have another.
OK, next caller then is Barbara on line 2.
Barbara, good morning.
Good morning.
Was it a mistake to send him back, do you think?
I think it's a great mistake. Only a mistake, not just because we're making a martyr of him, but it's wrong to ban ideas which are necessary for for changes, for good changes in society, for all progress. As I understand it, he's attacking ideas, not people. He's not advocating violence. In fact, he's attacking the idea of inducing violence.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say he certainly doesn't advocate violence in the film. I can't say he is attacking violence. He is using images, strong images, dead people, people that have been killed by fundamentalists, and he is juxtaposing those to sacred text, as if to say as if to make out that they are on some kind of divine mission. But the key to the whole thing is that it's fundamentalists, and fundamentalists, whether they be of any faith, I think are quite dangerous people. Ideas. I mean, by ideas, do you mean the notion that we can have conversations, we can have debate, that we should be able to talk things through?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to people who oppose him to argue against him, to join the debate, not to prevent him talking.
Barbara, on this, Scott, I'm totally with you. And that's kind of, it links in with the Carol Thatcher thing as well for me, that it wasn't about what she said, which I think was wrong, but it was about the fact that any kind of debate was stifled by the fact that she got fired, which seems, when it's in a green room situation, seems very different. Anyway, we can talk to Carol about that on Monday when she's on the right stuff.
I think the positive side to all of this is that it has provoked debate. We have had Muslim associations saying, you know what, we would have welcomed it. And that's something that the media don't necessarily show. And it's a lot of the general public don't get to see moderate Muslims saying, let's talk about it.
Well said, well said. OK, let's move on.